Okay, Funny Kumar. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Anyways, I'll be starting it from basics. So any doubts you can, for all, you can, it'll be a,
So do you teach shell scripting as well in this training?
yeah, I will share that to you as well.
Okay.
Okay. So, probably all of you have attended the demo earlier, or this is the first time you joined.
It's
This is
first
the
time
first.
for you.
Even for me
But
also it's first time.
for Rajat and Funny, it's the first time.
Yeah.
Okay. Sunil, Krishna, you have joined earlier, right?
No, this is our first time.
Okay. Sunil. This is a rough overview, but under each topic, what would be taught, that course content will be shared with you in the next class. So as of now, there's a overview, just a high level of what would be covered in this class actually. So what is DevOps? Okay, so just we all are speaking about. I know, Span, I've been working in this area. I've been working in this area, and I wanted to you know. Learn DevOps. I wanted to start working on DevOps. I have an assignment from DevOps. So what is this DevOps all about? So DevOps is not a tool, it's not a software, right? So it's a process. Simple, it's a process. So what is this process? Very simple. From the name we get to know it is a process which is used to enhance dev and operations. DevOps. Dev plus operations has become DevOps. So it is a process used to enhance the dev and operations, right? So why is it so become so um, one hot topic these days? Because it is it touches mostly it touches all the phases of SDLC. It enhances it, and not only that, like why is a DevOps engineer gaining more popularity these days, and how learning this course, how could it help you in your future? It's a simple thing. So if you are yes, we all everyone is will obviously from an admin background before getting into such a stream. So we know how to monitor all the tasks running on our system, handle all the processes going on and everything. So that's a different servers. That's a different scenario. But when it comes to DevOps, you're not only doing your additional, you're not leaving the work which you're doing earlier. Means you are, let's say, I'm also from a admin background, so I'm not leaving my basics. So adding something on top of which is giving me a different add-on, right? So what are we going to do here? So very simple. I said it is enhancing a process of dev plus operations, right? And I have used some word here saying SDLC. What is SDLC? Let's SDLC. What are different phases of software development life cycle? So first, design analysis, requirement analysis. Second one is design, development, or coding. Then testing. It is actually, yeah. Then move it to production. Finally, traversing it across environments, and then finally it is support. So we have different steps in middle. We'll just classify the important ones. Okay. So how can how is it touching all the phases of SDLC? So analysis, yes. So how will the requirement be? So I'm speaking, how could this course be helpful to you, and how, why do we use it, and where do we use, why is it gained the popularity? So now most of the projects are now, earlier it is hosted on premises, means you have your own infrastructure, so on which your application, on own servers is, we need to take care of all those servers on which your different applications will be running, right? So now everything has started moving into cloud. So everyone's in cloud, cloud, cloud. What is cloud? What is cloud computing? So it is something, we need to go for a session or two on what is on everything about cloud computing. So let's just a simple line. Something which can be accessed over internet, okay, which doesn't need to be actually physically present on your on your on your computer, on your server or something, but it's present somewhere which can be accessed via internet, is called as cloud. Something is on cloud, okay. So very simple example of it is Gmail. So we don't install any Gmail application as we do, okay, as we do for other other Skype or Gtalk or something. Gmail, it's a mailbox sitting somewhere. You don't know where actually a certain like 5 GB of RAM, no, space is allocated for you somewhere. We don't know where it is. But only thing we know is just I need to connect to internet, type mail.gmail.com and enter my user ID, password, and just log into it. Which means that you're trying to log into something which is remote, which is there actually remotely, which is not present on your system actually, just present remotely, right? So if something is present remotely and we are trying to access it via internet, it means that it is actually hosted on cloud, right? So, like, yeah, it doesn't have any dependency. It doesn't mean to say that, yeah, I have logged in from this PC today, so I have to log in again from this PC today. No, it is not like that. You log into it from anywhere. The same, the same is the advantage of having applications in cloud, which makes them accessible from anywhere, right? So that is one reason why people are moving to cloud. And in cloud, you have infrastructure provisioned already. So you're just using the infrastructure, which means setting up your infrastructure, cost is coming down, time is coming down, effort is coming down, which increases productivity, right? So that's one reason. So now everything is moving into cloud. So how are we actually going to get some job and work to do? So if all your applications are moving into cloud, then you need a DevOps engineer. So why do we need a DevOps engineer, right? So simple. So most of the projects, 80% of the projects as of now are migration projects which we have in cloud. It's not I would say it's a project right built from scratch. Very less, very less. It's I'll say it's around 10%, but 90% you have migration projects. So migration projects are nothing but some project is already there on your on their local hosted infrastructure, which they want to move it to cloud. So if they have to move to cloud, so let's say one of you have come to me, or all of you are a part of a company. So all of you have come to me saying, Spandana, so I have one application. It is running of Tomcat. Okay, it's running on Tomcat web server. So now I need to move it to cloud. You'll ask me, Spandan, just suggest us, you this your requirement. The client comes always in such a with a simple statement. So how are we going to give them a solution? So let's see how is it going to touch each and every phase of SDLC. So now I've come. So now, first thing we have to analyze what is this application all about in background. What is it all using? Okay. So what all the dependencies it has and where all it has to be placed, all this stuff, okay? So you first have to analyze everything and come up with a design, okay? Saying that, hey, For your requirement, we prefer AWS or we prefer Google Cloud or Azure, whatever it is. So on this, so this will be the the number of web servers. These will be the web servers. These will be the application servers. These will be the database instances. Okay. Okay. This is your this on here on this machine you have your Jenkins installed. On this you have that installed. This is what you come up with the design. So now dev team. So they start writing their code, or it's not writing their code, migrating their code from an on-premise infrastructure to a cloud. Means they're trying to move code into a source code management system. So now you have to speak with development team, help them. You have to create a proper directory structure from where actually code needs to be placed, and not only that, we need some dependency files also to be placed by them, right? So we have to always keep checking with them. So please place whatever they have to move, and if they have any issues working on source code management, we have to help them out. So after that, we need to build our code. Probably from Jenkins, we need to build our code. After building our code, we need to move it to test, right? How are we going to test it? But just triggering few test suits from a build from Jenkins build is enough. So after that, you have it can be a single environment or a multiple environment. So traversing your application throughout all the environments, you take it to production. So after production, so if at all any issues come up, we even help them after that. That's a post production support. Okay. So this is all the work which a DevOps person would be handling. Okay, so now that's the reason why I said it touches almost all the phases of SDLC. Right? Do you agree with my statement?
Yes.
Okay. So now, if you learn this course, how would it be helpful is. Um, you can, I wanted to make sure that people should be able to make an end-to-end DevOps setup, okay, on their own, and should have knowledge on each and every tool on which they are supposed to work in future, So that's my end motto, okay. It's not that I teach and I just leave it as of now, but I want everything to be done by you as well, okay. And this would be the course content, rough course content. In detail, what would be taught, and the next topic is different chart which I'll be showing you. So now, rough basics of what would be taught is, so yes, our DevOps pipeline, okay, has different parts. First is where our code sits, source code management, okay. So where you place your code, you check out from there, and all. So we use Jet, code commit, SVN for all this stuff, okay. So after that, we have a CI/CD pipeline. So for CI/CD, we use Jenkins, okay. CI/CD is the heart of DevOps process, okay. So going ahead, we have we have deployments. So to deploy, we need to have tools to make deployments, and we need servers on which we have to do deployment. This is all something we need. So just going ahead. So scripting, I'll be teaching shell scripting, okay. Basics and advanced as well. So after shell scripting, I'll teach you Perl and Ruby as well. So, but Python will be covered in depth, okay. Python fundamentals and advanced Python programming would be covered, because why I've opted Python rather than teaching you Ruby or something else is, so Python is a one which it's a good tool, good language to learn and market. Java has come, Ruby has come, everything has come. It's a long back established one. Python, you have very few resources available in market, and most of the cloud tools coming up these days are written in Python. OpenStack, it's a cloud platform. It's entirely written in Python, which means you can understand to how much extent it is such a powerful tool, powerful language, okay. So I wanted to train you on an advanced language. If you want me to teach you Java, it's fine. I'm okay to teach you Java as well. So it's up to you. So my choice is going with Python because it's an advanced one. So what would you say, Python or Java?
So Spandana, do you teach from basics to advanced levels of Python on Python?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
From
what about
basics.
Perl? For Perl as well?
Perl and Ruby, it would be, I would give you basics.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So
So more or less, all our scripting languages, everything is same. So only thing is syntactical differences. So when I'm explaining you two scripting languages in depth, the other two would be fundamentals.
yes, okay.
Yeah.
So Shell and Python you'll teach from basics to advanced level.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So I said source code management. We have JIT, SVN, and AWS code commit for that. Okay. And build, yeah. I told you we have to build our code. So how are we going to build our code? With and mav and ms build. These are plugins which we install in Jenkins, and from there we start building our code, right? So I'll be teaching you from that point of view. Okay. I'll teach you separately how do we install it and how do we build it. But more or less we'll be working from Jenkins, so it'll be concentrated more from Jenkins point of view. Okay. So let's skip this. So we have Chef and Puppet for configuration management. What is configuration management, right? And why do we need it? So suppose you have to, let's say you have launched one server, okay, and you have to install some packages in it. So how are you going to do it? If you're going to install some packages in it, so you have to log into that server and you have to start working on it. I mean, installing a package or making changes to configuration file. It's fine. So, but you have 10 machines. It's okay, manageable, but still, it's a tough job, because on all 10, there might be a human error making configuration changes. There might be an issue with, installing a package. Something might be missed, right? And let's say it comes to 50, it eats most of our time. So how are we going to resolve it? So we will be taking help of a configuration management tool, which helps us in configuring, installing packages, and managing all our nodes or instances which are launched. Okay. So only thing is, all those instances will be made slaves. And yes, we will check our script once. Whatever we are trying to automate, we do check it manually once. If it is fine, then when we are automating it, it should work fine on all of them as well. So which reduces human errors as well. Okay. So that's for that is a purpose why we use configuration management. Okay. So then Docker. So Docker, it's a future of cloud. Very specifically saying, Docker is future of cloud. So, and I don't know how many of you have knowledge on Docker. It's used for containerization. Containerization is how does our application or instance sits on a hardware, or going to cloud, you have a hypervisor. On hypervisor you have your virtual machine created. So in your virtual machine you have your operating system. On operating system, I shouldn't speak on. Yeah. See, you have your physical machine on which your virtual machine sits. On your virtual machine you have an operating system. On operating system you have an application, right? So now if you have to take a image of it or a snapshot of it and move it, so you have to capture your operating system and your application. So your operating system occupies around 5 GB or 6 GB or 10 GB of space, and your application is occupying 2 GB of space. Totally your image would be of 12 GB. So transferring 12 GB across nodes is not a small matter. It takes a lot of time. So in Docker, you're trying to separate your application from your operating system, which means you are dividing your application layer and your operating system, and you're trying to move only your 2 GB of application around the nodes, which makes it lightweighted and easy to traverse across the nodes, which increases your, which speeds up the process, right? So that is all about Docker. So I teach you how to install Docker, how to create, Docker images, containers, move it across nodes. It's all about Docker. So whatever, all the practices, I'll say it's from shell scripting till the last day, everything would be taught on AWS. Okay, AWS instances. This is like why I'm teaching it on is I'll be teaching you AWS Amazon Web Services basics would be taught. Okay, I mean basics means whatever things you need, because teaching each and every service, how huge it is, we know. So these are the AWS services which we have. So many. So so I'll be teaching you the important services which we need. So every day we will be logging in here, we'll be creating instances, terminating it, closing it, starting it. So it's all, you get acquainted with cloud environment is what is what I wanted to finally make you also just learn AWS to an extent in which I'm teaching. Okay, that's enough. So Jenkins, I told you we need it for build automation. Okay, installations and deployments. We do use Jenkins. We can configure different plugins connecting to sleeves. This is all we go with Jenkins. And Nagios, I'll be teaching you for infrastructure monitoring. Okay, Rundeck for deployments, and Logstash, that's just a log server. Okay, on which we'll be
Hey,
moving our logs. Yeah.
quick question on the Jenkins. So
Yeah.
how are you going to teach on the Jenkins? Are you going to teach on the
Jenkins
CDCI
installation,
using Jenkins?
configuration. Yeah, tell me.
No, are you
Sorry.
going to teach on the CDCI using Jenkins or just Jenkins?
No. CI/CD on Jenkins.
Okay.
So it will be a configuration of Jenkins. First, initially, how we are going to integrate all the tools together and build a pipeline. In that point, I can show you how we are going to actually build a CI/CD pipeline with Jenkins. So it will be hands-on. It will be a hands-on session for you as well. So without teaching you, how we are going to do a deployment, without teaching how we are going to do a build, if I start implementing everything from Jenkins, it's tough to understand, right? So let's first learn basics and then jump into making a setup. Okay. So yeah. So we have Nexus in the Artifactory for binary repository manager, wherein we store our deployables or some source code, deployables or source code, it's here. So along with that, I'm adding Amazon S3 as well. So it's a AWS service. So wherein we do store our static code, static content actually. So web application server, yes, to make a deployment, we need a server on which we have to make a deployment. So Tomcat, Glassfish, Apache IIS, everything will be taught from basics, how to install all of the web servers and how to make a deployment on it, and how we are going to make a deployment on it from Jenkins point of view. Okay, and infrastructure monitoring, Nagios will be taught. And for database, we don't need it much, but just it's not that we are stuck at some point of place, because we don't have an idea how to understand a query, SQL query. So I'm just teaching you MySQL basics will be taught here. Okay, so going ahead, there's a advanced topic in our tutorial. Okay, so it is AWS code commit, deploy and pipeline. These are AWS developer tools, which is the R&D area of AWS. Okay, so these are emerging tools which will conquer the market coming days, down the lane, 6 months. It's not that I teach you something which is now running and just leave it, but down the lane, coming 6 to 9 months, these would be the hot topics in market. So why don't we learn something advanced as well, so which can be helpful for you as well. So these are 3 topics which are sufficient to build a end-to-end DevOps pipeline. So such effective tools. So we will make a small demo. We'll learn all of these topics in depth and make a setup on our own. So all of this will be thought, nothing theoretical, everything would be practical. Okay, so everything would be right from installation, it will be done and shown to you. I'm not going to get an instance which is already running on Chef or Puppet or Nagios and show you this is how you're going to do. But being a DevOps person, if you're working on a fresh setup, it would be your own responsibility to set up everything. So that's the reason why I even want to cover the installation parts as well. So after after this, we will be setting up a DevOps pipeline as well. So stage, it's a 1 stage, 2 stage, with the source code management, build, and deployment part. Okay, so this is how actually it works. So all the tools will not be used together. It is there's a simple saying: keep it simple and keep it clear. When it comes to DevOps, keep it simple and clear. So don't add many tools and mess it up, but keep it simple. Make sure that it is clear, right? So this is how we are going to build our pipeline. So this would be rough idea on what I would be covering. So in depth, what all will be taught on Python, what all will be taught on this, what all will be taught will be shared to you wherever I start teaching each tool. So any doubts so far?
Spandana, what is the duration of this complete training?
It's around 40 days,
Around 40 days. Okay. Every day, how many hours?
1 hour a day.
1 hour a day. Okay.
1 hour a day, Fanikumar. It's around 35 to around 30 to 35 days. 35 days would be your trainings, and last 1 week, 5 to 7 days would be you making a setup on your own and me helping you out, so that later at end of this tutorial also you should be able to do it right on your own at a point of time. So
Yes.
that's it.
So we have. Do we have a class on weekends as well?
It is up to you. If at all of you are available, we can take up weekend classes as well.
I'm
So
fine. For me, I'm fine. If you want to take a 2 hour session also per day, I just want to complete as well as possible.
okay.
And Spandana, you said like 40 hours
Yeah.
the whole course, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me like how many days for each session, like for each topic here, by any chance?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's okay. See, shell scripting, and first it will not be this class. First it will be cloud computing basics, virtualization basics, AWS basics. Then we'll quickly jump into it. So it takes around 3 to 4 sessions specifically for that, and after that we have scripting, which takes around 3 to 4 sessions. Python, it almost takes a week for it. So after that, coming into each tool individually, it's Jet a day or two, source code management. So around 3 to 4 sessions for source code management, covering all the different options which we have. In Jenkins, it's around 3 days for basics and 3 to 4 days for basics, which we start. So after that, we have Chef and Puppet. Each of them takes, both of them together would take a week. And Docker, it takes 2 to 3 sessions. Nagios, it takes 2 sessions. And what else? Yeah, build management tools. All of them would take 2 sessions on a rough basis, and each web application servers would take you 2 sessions. Okay, and advanced topics, which will take around 4 to 5 sessions. Okay, MySQL, 2 sessions. So it's all somewhat categorized in this way.
Okay.
And after this, we have a pipeline build, which will take a week or so for you to understand how are we going to link each and everything, and how are we going to actually use Jenkins and do a deployments and do builds from it. So it takes a week.
Mona, you are from India or from USA?
I'm from India.
Oh, okay. Great to see